Hey, what's going on? I'm a Korean American expat. So as you can see, I am in Changwon. Yes, and this is like south of South Korea. So as you can see, I was just at a basketball game with the Changwon LG Sakers. So I'm gonna head home after I do this vlog. So today I want to talk about like, could you retire in Korea? That's a heavy, no, that's like yes, but not favorable yes. And hell no. Hell no, because here's the problem with Korea. If you're like a 50 or 60-year-old expat and you want to retire here, I mean, you could do, I think, some sort of investment, but I am not sure on that. I'm not, anywhere knowledgeable about that. But it's really a hard no. I mean, you can do the 90 days, come here, and just have fun or live, but this is not the place to retire. And this is the thing about South Korea, because you have to have tons of money. And of course, this argument my buddy made a while ago, we're two Korean Americans, we're talking about, yeah, Korea's great and you could retire here. And I'm like, we can, or we can stay here, or not retire here, but we can stay here because we have the long-term visa, the F visa. But for a 50 or 60-year-old expat, trying to come to Korea, no, it's not going to be, probable, because you got 90 days. Unless you're from Canada, you get 180 days. You get 6 months, I think, exactly. And it's hard. It's hard unless you're really bringing in the money. And yes, it's a little cheaper than the States. I get that, but if you're a tourist, yeah, it's cheaper than the States. But if you're trying to live here, it's really tough unless, you have some Korean ethnicity, or, you could marry a Korean spouse, and, even for the men or women, and you could live here. But you got to figure a way to keep, working and making some income. But if you're a 50 or 60-year expat, the only way you're going to come here is like if you're married to a Korean that has, the Korean rights, and then you could maybe live here. But the odds of living in Korea, those are rare, and you're like, but I want to live in Korea because the infrastructure's great. Yeah, so is Thailand. Thailand, there's like retirement visas, but I'm not to adapt to all the visa rules. And the Philippines, why do expats live in the Philippines? Because you have 3 years and then you have to go F off and then go back. But in Korea, you got 90 days unless you're a Canadian, or unless you possess a Korean passport. Those are the only ways. Or like me, I'm a long-term visa holder, because I have to pick, Korean or, the U.S. I'm going to pick the U.S. even if, things are not so great in the U.S. because, it gives me a lot of opportunities for, to go make American money when I maybe go home in a couple weeks. So, yeah, it's not as probable unless you're a baller, unless you have some huge investment, or you're married to a Korean spouse and she has rights to Korea. And then you guys can live off that. But and people are like, I see expats. Yeah, but maybe that expat has been living here since his 20s. He married a Korean chick in his young 20s, and then now he's 40, and he's made a life here with his Korean wife. And then the kids, are mixed. So, that's one way. But the idea of trying to make things work is going to be tough. Now, if it's not impossible, but it's hard, and it's not that easy, in Korea. So you have to decide, okay, what will work? And yeah, and this is a country that has a low birth rate. Even if it went back up to 7.25, it was at 0.6, but you're living in pretty much, yeah, a done deal. It's not ideal to come to Korea. Now to visit, I recommend it. because and I'm speaking from an American point, you get 90 days. And then you can go F off and then come back. But usually they might frown upon that a little bit if you can, go 90 days and then you could go to like take a ferry boat to, Japan or something, to one of the islands, and then stay for 24 and then come back. Because I had a buddy that did it. I actually went to Japan because I said, hey, gives me a chance to go check out Japan. So we went to Japan because he had to go every time. It's like, oh, my 90 days is coming up. Okay, when you going? We got to go this day, and we better make sure we make it there. Well, you have to make sure. I don't have to. I don't care. And of course, in Japan, for Americans, it's 90 days, but you don't want to stay in Japan for all 90 days. But yeah, you're taking a risk if you are coming to Korea, trying to live, survive. It's not feasible. And of course, you could come teach English here, and then you'll be on a visa. But the problem is, I don't want to go on that drum again because I beat that drum to death. Yeah, you could work, but usually in your old age, Korea, they don't want really old folks. They don't. I'm serious. I'm telling it like it is. They don't want a 50 or 60-year-old here unless you're going to teach at a uni, but then you're on a visa. But if you're just coming here to retire and not work, it's very difficult. So you're not going to be able to just freely go, oh yeah, like the Philippines, and Thailand has retirement visas, even if Thailand's strict too. You can just come and visit, have fun, 90 days. And this for Americans. I don't know the other countries, especially if I know like people from the Philippines came here, but they have tons of money and they had to go through a whole bunch of crap to get here, to visit, just to visit, not to work. But, it is what it is, So, yeah, you're dealing with a lot of effort. You're dealing with a lot of crap. And, yeah, it's friendly. It makes it friendly. English, Korean. Okay, cool. No problem at all, And, yeah, I would say, yeah, it is English friendly. Of course, I didn't even tell like the girls, because right now I was just waiting for the players to come out because I need a signature on the jersey. So I needed one of those signatures, and I'm like, yo, I came out here, but I'm not going to tell you who. But yeah, but it's one of my trips. I'm out here, but you know where it's at. It's good old Changwon, and then Masan's over there. So you got some things to do. Like you could watch some basketball, you could watch some sports. There's a lot of sports here, so you have a lot to do. So for those, I would say, hey, come to Korea, check out. Of course, and not to get too sports happy, you could check out the baseball because it's big here in Korea, just like Japan, and basketball. It's somewhat big. So yeah. But for retirement, it's not likely, unless some other way. But I heard like if you invest, but I wouldn't invest too much out here. Everything's so inflated in price. So yeah, that's how it is in Korea. I mean, it's great to come here, enjoy the infrastructure, but then you could even enjoy that same infrastructure somewhat in Thailand. Now, Philippines infrastructure, yeah, that's another video. But other than that, you make the best of it. And you just go with what you can. I'll say, but one thing, I say come visit. Come visit, have fun, check out the sites, check out everything. You could probably do all of it in 90 days because Korea's a little small country of 50 million people. And it's easy to get to city with, public transportation. And I'm going to take the train back to my city. So, yeah, it's pretty good for that part. But to live and work, yeah, that's another story, and that's another video. If you wanted to really survive and work here, it's gonna be tough, but hey, but to each to its own, whatever you want to do. All right, so if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please comment and subscribe and talk about, hey, well, where else can you retire besides, you know, the Philippines or, you know, Mexico or wherever you're from? Talk about your experience. Where could you retire? All right, so that ends it, and you guys take care.